Hi everyone, my name is Matt and I want to welcome you to our class. We're so excited to have you here. There's so much I want to tell you about what we're going to be doing. But first I want to tell you one way in which this class is probably different from any class you've been in before. You will actually have two teachers. One of your teachers you just met there in the classroom. And then there's me, Matt. I'll be your teacher via video. That may seem a little strange, but there's a lot of cool things that we can do with video teaching. Like I can give you a list of instructions behind me. I can put up helpful images to show you things. I can even play videos behind me from classes that we've done before. You'll get used to having a video teacher pretty soon. Now before I tell you about this class, I want to tell you about our prize box. In this class, we give out prizes for people who are doing a good job following directions, listening to the teacher, and working hard. First, let me tell you how we keep track of the points in this class. You might have noticed that up on the board or up at the front of the room is a list of all the people in the class. Everybody starts out with 2 points, as you can see here. Now, it's kind of like a contest. Your teacher will be giving you points all through the class, not just today, but all of the times that we're here together. The points carry over each week. Now I say it's a contest because there's a special prize for whoever gets the most points at the end of the last class. The special prize is a $10 Amazon gift card. Whoever has the most points at the end of the last class will win the gift card. Now, as you might know, you can buy almost anything you want on Amazon. They have toys and action figures and dolls and stuffed animals and anything that you're interested in. You could buy something for $10 or you could pair it with some other money that you have to buy something bigger. All of the other people in the class who are doing good also earn a prize. On the last day of class, your teacher will bring a prize box, and everyone who's doing good in class will get to pick one prize if they didn't win the $10 gift certificate. Now you might be wondering, how do you earn points in the class? There's a bunch of ways to earn points. Your teacher will be giving points all the time. The main way is by following these 3 important rules. The first rule is to work hard. Your teacher will always be on the lookout to give points to those people who are working hard. The second rule is to take the class seriously. Don't get too silly during class. We're going to be doing some great things in this class, and we really want you to take it seriously. Have fun, but do your best. The last rule is when we're at meetings like this meeting right now. There's no talking at the meeting unless you raise your hand. So like when I'm talking to you from the video here, you should be silent and listening. Or when your teacher is talking to you, you should also be silent and listening. If you do have a comment or question, you should remember to raise your hand. Your teacher will always be looking to give points to people doing a good job when we're at our meetings. So those are our 3 rules. There's a few other ways that you can earn points in class too. One way is that sometimes your teacher will ring a little bell. When they do that, that means it's time to come over to the meeting rug or the meeting area. We'll give you a little 10-second countdown that looks like this whenever your teacher rings the bell and asks you to come over. Your teacher will usually give a point to the 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 people, it's your teacher's choice, who come over quickest without running. If you run over, it doesn't count. Now, I do want to mention your teacher can also take away points. So if you forget to raise your hand, or if you're talking at the meeting, or if you're like the last one to come over and you are like really slow coming to the meeting area, your teacher could take away a point. In fact, I've asked them to do that if you are having trouble, just to give you a reminder. So I mentioned that everyone who's doing good will earn a prize, and the person who gets the most points will earn the $10 gift certificate. But you might be wondering, Matt, what do you mean by doing good? Take a look at this list of students behind me. Now in this class, you can see that Sarah would have got the gift certificate because she finished first. If there had been a tie, both of the people who finished first would get a $10 gift certificate. But in this case, it's just Sarah, so she gets the gift certificate. Now you can see that all the other people in the class were working pretty hard too. Everybody got more than 30 points, which is great. So in this case, all of the people in the class besides Sarah would have got to pick from the prize box at the end of the last class, and Sarah would get the gift certificate. But let's change things for a second. Let's say that Johnny just had like a lot of trouble in this class. Look at Johnny's points now. He was talking during the meetings, he wasn't working hard, he was being really silly, and he only ended up with 8 points. You can see that 8 points isn't very good compared to the rest of the students, so Johnny wouldn't get a prize. Also, I just wanted to mention this. I don't think this will happen with anyone in our class, but if Johnny was really having that much trouble, we might have to send an email home to mom or dad just saying how much trouble he was having following our rules. So I wanted to get all that out of the way. I think that you'll be doing great though, and that's not going to happen to anybody in our class. Okay, so remember to work really hard, listen to Matt and your teacher during the meetings, and take the class really seriously and do your best. We'll start the points now. Your teacher will start to look to give points. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about our class. Now that we've talked about rules and prizes, let's talk about our class, Business Sharks. Now this class is based on a TV show that you might have seen before. It's called Shark Tank. Shark Tank is a little bit like a game show. Real people who've invented businesses come onto the show and present their business ideas. Who do they present them to? They present them to the sharks. Sharks are famous business leaders who have made millions or even billions of dollars in their own businesses. The contestants have to show their own ideas for businesses and hope that the sharks will like their ideas. For instance, this couple here came up with a new idea for a sippy cup for toddlers. Now, if you've ever had a younger brother or sister or cousin, you probably know that sippy cups tend to spill everywhere. But as this couple told the sharks, they invented a sippy cup that barely spills at all. Now, sometimes the sharks don't really like the ideas that people bring them, but in this case, they love the idea. After all, every parent wants a sippy cup that doesn't spill. Now in this class, we're going to do the same thing as on the show Shark Tank. You're going to create an idea for a business and a product. A product is like something that your business will sell. And just like on the TV show Shark Tank, we're going to invite some adult sharks to come and judge your businesses. Just like these kids that you see here, you'll be presenting your business to the panel of sharks. You're also going to be doing some really fun stuff in the meantime. For instance, you're going to create a model of your business using Legos. Also, you're going to find a location for your business using the computer program Google Earth. And you'll create a TV commercial that you'll actually act out in front of the sharks. You'll also be creating a poster and a magazine ad and doing lots of other fun stuff. Now you might be wondering, how do you come up with an idea for a business? Well, sometimes it does take a little time to think of a really good idea. In fact, we call this the big idea. This is the big idea behind your business. Now the best businesses have a big idea that have some kind of a twist, something that makes them a little bit different from the average business. For instance, let's take a look at a really famous business, McDonald's. It's one of the most popular restaurants in the whole world. But even though McDonald's has literally thousands of locations around the world, there was a time when there was just one single McDonald's store. McDonald's was started in California by two brothers who obviously had the last name McDonald. And they had an amazing big idea. It was a big idea with a twist. Now let me tell you what the twist was. At that time in the 1950s, if you wanted to eat a hamburger, you actually had to go to a restaurant and you had to sit down at a booth and a waitress or a waiter would come over and you had to order the hamburger and you had to wait for it to cook and you had to wait for them to bring you the hamburger. It took a lot of time just to eat one hamburger. But the McDonald brothers had a really good twist for their big idea. They said, instead of having people come and sit down in our restaurant, we'll give them hamburgers really fast. No more sitting down in a booth, no more waiting for a waitress to come, no more waiting for your hamburger to cook. They said you can have your hamburger in less than 2 minutes from when you order it. That was a twist. We're going to do an assignment now where you're going to try to figure out what the twist is for some famous businesses and products. Take a look at this sheet here. You can see that there's a number of businesses and products. For each one, down here where I'm highlighting, you're going to write a sentence explaining what the twist is for that business or product. I'm going to use a timer to count down 10 minutes. That's how long you have to do this assignment. In the 10 minutes, you're going to try to get all 6 twists for all 6 businesses and products. Now we're giving points for this assignment. Each one that you get right is worth 1 point. So you have a chance to earn a total of 6 points. If you finish early, on the back, you can see if you can think of any other businesses and what their twists were. In most cases, you're going to do this assignment with a partner, and your teacher is going to assign the partners for this activity. There might be 1 or 2 people who have to work alone. Now, your teacher is going to put me on pause for a minute so that your teacher can assign the partners for this activity. Remember, try not to argue with your teacher about who your partner is. This is just for a short activity. Okay, hopefully you now have your partner or your teacher has told you that you'll be working alone for this assignment. Remember that you have 10 minutes. You're going to try to get as many twists as you can. Okay, ready, and let's begin. Now that we've figured out all about twists for our businesses, we're going to come up with ideas for our own businesses, the ones that you're going to be presenting at the end of this whole class to the sharks. To plan out your business idea on a sheet like the one that you see here. This sheet asks you to sketch out your plan for your business in words and in pictures. Now there are two rules for your business ideas. Number one, it has to be something that could be made in real life. It can't be something off in the future. So for instance, you couldn't create a time machine company because time machines haven't been invented yet. So it has to be something that's possible. The second rule is that it has to be something for which you'll have a storefront. The reason for this is because we're going to be creating little model stores with Legos later on in this class. So it needs to be a business for which you would have a store. If you're not sure if your idea fits one of those two categories, talk to your teacher, and your teacher can probably help you make it work. Now let's talk about the rules for partners. So in this class, we like to have groups of 2 if possible. It's also okay for students to work by themselves if they choose to do that. Groups of 3 don't work. So we either want to have students work in pairs or by themselves. Now I always say that this is the hardest part of the class because we want you to try to pick your partner or pick to work alone by yourself rather than having your teacher decide. What we're going to do is count down 1 minute and give you a chance to see if you can find a partner that you can work with or to decide to work alone. We don't want any hurt feelings here, so if you're having any trouble deciding or if you can't find a partner, please see your teacher so that they can help you. Okay, so I'm going to count down 1 minute, ready, and try to find your partner. Okay, hopefully everybody was able to either find a partner or are happy working by themselves. If somebody wasn't able to find their partner, don't worry, we'll figure that out. And as you saw, as we came back together, we did another countdown. So your teacher should be giving a point to the person or two people, it depends on what they decide, who come over quickest to the meeting without running. So the people who are ready first. Okay, so now we're going to pass out the sheet in which you're going to write some pictures, sketch out some pictures and write some words that describes your business. We're going to give you 12 minutes to finish this. Remember, it might take some time to think of some ideas. Your teacher can help you brainstorm ideas, and give it a little time. It might take the full 12 minutes to think of something. However, we do want you to try to think of an idea by the end of the 12 minutes. So your teacher will be giving 1 point to both people in every group that is able to come up with a good idea for a business with a good twist by the end of 12 minutes. So try to work quickly if you can. And if you finish early, on the back of the paper, you can start to plan out your storefront that you're going to do in Legos a little later, or you can start to design your logo for your business. Okay, so I'm going to set the timer now for 12 minutes, and ready, let's begin. for coming back together. Your teacher should have put up a point for the people who were ready quickest without running, and also they should give a point for anybody who was any group, both people in any group that was able to come up with an idea for a business and a twist in the 12 minutes. Now, if you couldn't come up with an idea in the 12 minutes, don't worry, you don't earn the point, but we'll give you some extra time to see if you can come up with an idea. We do want you to come up with an idea very soon though, because we just don't want you to fall too far behind. We have a lot to do with the businesses. The thing that we're going to work on is our business plan posters. And we're going to get started on these, and we're going to work on a couple of sections now, and then we'll work on a couple of sections later. You're going to have a big poster, and it kind of looks like this. This is the graphic organizer to help you. Your poster is going to be much larger though, and your teacher is going to hand that out to you in a little while. Each group will have one poster. These posters will help guide you when you give your presentation to the Sharks. Now you notice that the poster has lots of different sections. I'm going to tell you about a couple of sections now, and we're going to get started on those 2 sections, and then later I'll tell you about more of the sections. The first one is right here. As you can see, I'm highlighting it, and this is where your product, where you'll draw your product. So remember that a product is something that you'll sell. It's how your business makes money. So for instance, a product for a hamburger restaurant would be the hamburgers and the french fries and the sodas and all the things that they sell. Here's an example that a couple of students did, which I thought was really colorful and pretty. Now yours may not be quite that colorful, but you do want to make it look really nice. The other boxes that we'll be working on are what we call the biography boxes. This is where you are going to write a little bit about yourself, and you're going to draw a picture of yourself. Your biography should be at least 4 sentences long. So if you're wondering what to write, well, you could write things like what school you go to. You could also write something in your biography that has to do with the business that you're creating. For instance, if I was creating a company where we helped walk people's dogs during the day while they were at work, I might say something about me that relates to dogs. Like for instance, I have a dog at home and his name is Reggie, and he is black and he's 4 years old. Okay, I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes. Your teacher is going to pass out the poster boards and the graphic organizers for you to use, and let's begin. Okay, hopefully you got a lot of work done in those 25 minutes. You probably didn't finish all of those sections of the poster board yet, but hopefully you got off to a good start. Now that we've started on our business plan poster, let's talk a little bit about logos and slogans. As I mentioned, a logo is a picture symbol of your business. I'd like to do a turn and talk, and again, your teacher will be giving a point for everybody who's doing a good job with the turn and talk. The turn and talk question is, why do you think that businesses use logos? Ready? Let's turn and talk. Okay, and hopefully your teacher gave out points to people that were doing a good job with the turn and talk, and for people who came back to the meeting quickly. So as hopefully some people realized, one of the reasons that businesses use logos is because they're so recognizable. Let's play a little game. I'm going to disappear for a second and put up some different logos that are kind of famous. When each logo comes up on the screen, I want you to just shout out, not too loud, but shout out what that business or company is when you see the logo. Now you might have noticed that a lot of companies use particular colors in their logo. For instance, McDonald's always uses red and yellow. That also helps make it more recognizable. When you see a restaurant and it's red and yellow, your brain probably tells you that that's a McDonald's. Another example is Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts always uses pink and orange for their business. So try to pick out a couple of different colors that you'll use for your business and logo. And then try to use that logo everywhere that you can. Use it on your Lego storefront when we create those. Use it in your TV commercial if you can. Use it in your magazine ad that we'll be creating. And put it on your business plan poster, of course. Now, a lot of companies also come up with little slogans. A slogan is kind of like a little one-sentence description of what your business is all about. It should be kind of catchy so people can remember it. For instance, the store Walmart uses the slogan, "Save money, live better." And that kind of summarizes what Walmart is all about. If you want something like super fancy that's going to cost a lot of money, you probably aren't going to go to Walmart. Walmart is for like cheap, very affordable products. So their slogan has "save money" in it because they want you to remember that Walmart's a good place to save money. So see if you can come up with a one-sentence slogan for your business. And on your business plan poster, right in this little highlighted spot here, that's where you're going to write your slogan. It's right underneath where you'll draw your logo. Now, before we get back to posters, we're going to play a quick game having to do with logos. And the point of this game is to show you how easy it is for people to recognize those logos because the companies have made them so famous. You're going to be on a team that your teacher assigns you, and your team is going to get a bag of Ziploc bag of logos and also a worksheet that looks like this. The worksheet has the names of some different companies on it. Your job will be to take the logos out of the Ziploc bag and try to match them to the companies that are on the sheet. Some will probably be pretty easy and some might be kind of difficult. You're going to have 4 minutes to try to match all of those logos to the different companies. Once you've matched them all, once you've placed the logos on top of the correct company, you'll raise your hand as a team and call over your teacher so that they can see if you've matched everything correctly. So if you're able to match all the logos to the companies or businesses, then your team earns 5 points for each person on the team. You are allowed to have 3 tries. So for instance, if you call your teacher over the first time and your sheet is not correct yet, you still have a chance to make changes and fix it and still earn the 5 points if you can fix it. Okay, your teacher is now going to divide you up into teams of either 3 or 4, depending on the number of students in your class. So the teacher is going to put me on pause now for a minute, and the teacher is going to tell you what team you're on and get you into your groups. Hopefully you're all in your groups now, and what's going to happen next is the teacher is going to pass out the Ziploc bags with the business logos and the sheet on which you'll place the logos. Once everybody has them, your teacher will say go, and then that's when you start, and we'll count down the time.